Efficacy and long-term safety of a dengue vaccine in regions of endemic disease. Dengue vaccine. Dengue vaccine is not available. Almost 9,000 cases were reported in the first 10 weeks of 2010, more than 3 times as many as were described for the same period the previous years.
Number 2, dengue virus vaccine.
All it takes is one bite for dengue, a debilitating virus to be transmitted to humans by the bite of the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Half of the world's population is at risk of catching dengue. 50 to 100 million dengue infections worldwide every year, and the disease is fatal for 20,000 per year. The disease currently has no specific effective drug or approved vaccine. The ideal vaccine would have to prevent 4 different serotypes of the virus simultaneously. This virus can be found around the globe, most prevalent in tropical and less developed areas. The virus can also be found in highly developed countries. Local transmission has even occurred in Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and parts of Florida and the Texas-Mexico border. More than 20 years in development, the world's first vaccine against dengue is showing positive effect on some variations of the disease. Clinical testing across Asia and Latin America show its greatest impact on the most severe forms of the disease. As the dengue threat increases, other vaccines are currently in development and undergoing clinical trials, including one that immunizes against all 4 dengue virus serotypes.
Incident. We are assessing the incidence of hospitalization for virologically confirmed dengue as a surrogate safety endpoint during follow-up in year 3 to 6 of 2 phase 3 trials, CYB14 and CYB15.
Transmitted by mosquitoes, dengue fever is a threat to almost half of the world's population. Dengue is a major public health problem, particularly in Latin America and Asia, where outbreaks occur regularly. When biting a person for its blood meal, an infected mosquito releases saliva containing the dengue virus. Once in the body, the virus infects the immune cells in the skin tissue. And enters the lymphatic system. The viral infection can then trigger strong inflammation. The virus first replicates locally. During the incubation period, the virus first replicates locally and then spread. When mosquito fever requires intensive hospital care, it draws in the dengue virus contained. When mosquito bites a person who's already infected, it draws in the dengue virus contained in the blood. By biting another person, it can transmit the virus and spread the disease. The vaccine contains 4 strains against the 4 types of the dengue virus. The vaccine contains 4 strains against the 4 types of the dengue virus. Once in the body, the vaccine activates the immune system and the production of antibodies. Once in the body, the vaccine activates the immune system and the production of antibodies. Activate B cells. The immune system is activated and activate B cells. The B cells multiply and begin producing antibodies.
Dengue is transmitted by several species of mosquito within the genus Aedes, principally Aedes aegypti. The virus has 5 different types. Infection with one type usually gives lifelong immunity to that type, but only short-term immunity to the others. Rash that is similar to measles. Treatment of acute dengue is supportive using either oral or intravenous radiation for mild or moderate disease and intravenous fluids and blood transfusion for more severe cases.
The eggs float on groups that look like rats. Eggs laid during winter can survive to hatch in spring. Mosquitoes hatch into larvae. The eggs float alone or in groups that look like rafts. Eggs laid during winter can survive to hatch in spring. Breathe through a tube. Mosquito eggs hatch into larvae. They shed their skin a few times. If mosquito larvae need to hide, the larvae live at the surface of the water and dive below the water's surface and breathe through a tube. As the larvae grow, they shed their skin a few times before they turn into pupae. If mosquito larvae need to hide just before predators, they can swim and dive below the water's surface. Mosquito larvae live a few days to a few weeks before they turn into pupae. They stop feeding just before they turn into pupae. Do not eat, but they are active. They tumble below when disturbed. The pupae live at the water's surface in the pupal stage anywhere from 1 and breathe through 2 small tubes. Mosquito pupae do not eat, but they are active. The larva transforms into an adult. They tumble below the surface of the water when disturbed. They remain in the pupal stage anywhere from 1 to a few days, depending on the water temperature. While inside the pupa, the larva transforms into an adult. The adult breaks out of the pupal case.
Application in nursing. Monitor vital signs in cause of fever and administer antipyretic. Administer prescribed medication called packs if edema vaccine. Conclusion. To manage to have a tetravalent dengue vaccine will be IHF protect both people living in endemic areas and those who travel to these areas.